One of Sheffield's best artists, a secret sculpture park and a mysterious wood. We have to check that out, right? Welcome to the video, my name's James and this is a Sheffield guide. When I first started the Sheffield guide, one of the main aims was to find some real hidden gems around the city, and my God have we found one today. This is Storrs Wood, which is just north of Sheffield, just outside Stannington towards Bradfield, and it's the home of Stoneface Creative.
Stoneface Creative is made up of artist Andrew Vickers and lately son of Stoneface, Tom. Their stunning 10-acre woodland base acts as a source of inspiration, as well as somewhere for some of the amazing creations to reside amongst beautiful natural surroundings.
This is called Behind the Mask, and as Andrew Vickers I'm quite a shy person, but I found that I could put a mask of Stoneface on, and so this sculpture's like a self-portrait, so the mask is me. And this is what goes off in my head. So don't ask me questions about that.
Originally a dry stone waller by trade, Andrew quickly found a natural talent with creating amazing sculptures.
I've been sculpting for probably more than 25 years, probably less than 30, but 20 odd years. I've got this massive love of stone and I can't explain, it's crazy. I just love stone. And I thought by being a dry stone waller, that would like be my vocation. All the walls I ever took down and rebuilt, I never found a signature of who'd been there before me. And I was sort of thinking, it'd be really nice to know who'd done this wall. And so I went home that night, took a piece of stone with it, and I'd never ever carved stone at this point, you've got to understand that. And I carved a really basic face into a piece of stone, took it back with me the next day, put it in the wall, and so I became Stoneface. So Andrew Vickers disappeared and Stoneface appeared.
Andrew invited me to Storrs Wood and gave me a tour, kindly showing and telling me about some of the incredible sculptures he has created and placed in the woodland.
So this is probably one of my favourite sculptures. It's a boulder which came out of a dry stone wall from where I was working, and farmer says, oh, you can have that, because it was too big to get back into the wall. It's a sculpture about myself, and it's called Naked. It's me laying myself bare and saying, look, this is what I can do. That's probably one of the first figurative sculptures I did after a face. And I've not studied art or anything, I'm really fortunate. I've got a God-given talent. And that is just an image out of my head.
When I heard about this place, I just had to come. It's just one of those really quaint places that you rarely find. And it's so brilliant to come here. I think it helps. I've stumbled upon it on one of the hottest days of the year. So it makes for a lovely walk, if a very hot and sweaty one. And I want to say a big thank you to everyone for supporting these Sheffield guide videos. They literally wouldn't happen without you watching them and liking and sharing and commenting. Please, it really does help if you go along to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. If you go onto Facebook and like the page. So it just helps us get higher in the algorithms so that more people can see amazing stuff like this.
Each month, Stoneface open up Storrs Wood to the public for a weekend full of tours and activities for young and old. If you're lucky, Andrew may even talk you through some of the amazing pieces on display.
This one's it's from a collection that I did called the Brook and Grindstones, and I was given a lot of grindstones that nobody wanted because he got big lumps knocked out of them. And so wherever the pieces are missing, I just carved into them. So this is a man and a woman. There's a man on this side with a dove apiece. And onwards. This is another of the Brook and Grindstones. And I put him here because obviously full moon runs round, but this is a really good view of the full moon. And he's called the man in the moon. But it's actually a half of a grindstone. And so the next sculpture I'm going to show you, which is called the Sun Worshipper, is the other half of this grindstone. She's the other half. I carved her on the outside. The man in the moon's carved on the inside. They're one piece of stone that got broken. The people who used to work the grindstones were generally young men, and they had to go out and buy the stone and then work it. But they were paid reasonably well, and that's why they did it. But not many of them lived to past 25, and they knew they were going to die if they did this. But they did it to benefit their family, you know, to earn a bit extra money and lift them up in the social standing. So it's called Nose to the Grindstone, and it's based on that idea of these brave men being lost to this stone.
Grindstone workers aren't the only people that Stoneface pays respects to at this unique site. Alongside the adjacent Storrs Lane, Andrew has built and donated in perpetuity a public memorial dedicated to war victims.
So this is the war memorial, and I was commissioned by the Lord Mayor many years ago, Graham Oxley, and I went to this fundraiser in the town hall. And there was actually a lady there who recently lost her son in Afghanistan or something like that. And I never went up, somebody told me this fact, but I never went up to her because I didn't want to ask her anything. She just emitted this aura of sadness, and it was horrendous. You could feel her sorrow, absolutely feel it. And so I created that. It's called Remorse. And the idea is that someone gets up in the morning and you don't say I love you to them, and they're gone, and they don't come back that night, and you've missed that chance to say I love you. And so yeah, it's a war memorial, but it applies to everyday life. It's about saying I love you.
There's also an amazing memorial wall for victims of the Great Sheffield Flood.
I got involved with the children at Dunworth School, which is the school where I went to actually, and asked their thoughts on the flood, and we sort of, well, they came up with all these words, and so I carved them into this stone, the words that the kids from Dunworth School came up with. We've started doing more and more with schools. The idea is that we'll eventually be able to invite various schools down into the wood and let them experience nature, art, everything really. It's nice to involve people in, you know, in your work. I was actually commissioned to do that bit, but then I thought there's a real opportunity, so I took all of this wall down. It needed rebuilding, but I took all of this wall down, and it's like it's going to be a wave that flows down. So there's going to be the big stone at the top. It'll symbolise the breach in the dam, because there's a footpath runs up there. On the footpath side, I put some big boulder stones in, and I'm going to just carve like facts of how many people died, how many millions of gallons come down, and things like that, just to make it a bit more human, really, you know, because people talk about tragedies, but they don't think about what really did happen. Probably not going to put stones on the top. I'm probably going to put turf on the top, because what it actually did is that the flood came through here. It came down that river, which is less than 10 yards away from us, but you don't know it come down there. So the soil will be, nature's healed itself again. So yeah, it's a dry stone wall, but it's actually a sculpture.
Andrew has even created a tribute to one of his favourite musicians, this time sculpting from unconventional materials, recycled DVDs.
It's called Starman, and I did it like a tribute really to the late great David Bowie. It's called Starman because of that, but if you see it any day, it totally, constantly changes. And David, I mean, I admired him a great deal. He constantly changed his character. But you can come on the dullest day and that'll be shining various colours.
DVDs aren't the only unconventional material you might see sculpted into something beautiful at Storrs Wood. Andrew is prolific and just can't stop creating, so he recycles many different things into pieces, including bronze, steel, wood, and even old cement mixers.
I had a cement mixer knocking about and I got fed up of moving it, so I chopped it up and made a fisherman. He seems to have grown a lot of blackberry briars, but he's really to be seen more from the footpath side than in here.
But as the name suggests, Stoneface mainly utilises various stones for his work, much of it reclaimed, saved from just becoming landfill, and so turned into fantastic artwork, either for commissions or to be placed in the woodland.
And this is a green man. I'm fascinated by the green man, but I like to not reinvent it, but just give my take on the green man, because when you see them in churches and things, they're all sort of stylised. And I do some stylised green men, but this is one of those that I sort of broke the mould with a little bit. You know, at different times of the day, when, I mean, at the moment it's got the sunshine, but you can get it on a really bright moonlit night when the moon comes through it. It's incredible.
What comes over when speaking to Andrew, other than his incredible passion for his art and his work, is that he has a genuine love and an incredible bond with Storrs Wood.
The lady who owned it, I just met her at the shops one evening in the village and said, "Do you fancy selling them woods?" And she said, "Yes, I do." So I bought them. I was meant to have them. My mom played in these woods when she was a child, and she dug some bluebells up from this wood, took them to her mum's house, which my nan, who lived at Loxley. They planted them in the garden. My nan at Loxley died, so they dug the bluebells up. My mum took them back to her house. I bought the woods, so my mum dug the bluebells up, gave them me back, and I put them back in the woods. Is that a cycle or what?
And now you can share in that bond and explore Storrs Wood too, one of Sheffield's true hidden gems, with Stoneface's regular open days. The land is even available for unique events, weddings, and even special outdoor cinema screenings and more. Make sure to follow Stoneface Creative on Facebook and keep checking the website stonefacecreative.com for more insight into the amazing work and events that take place here.
These videos, I love making them and I'll continue to make them. I'm sure you can imagine they do take quite a lot of time, effort and money to make, so it'd be great if at some point you could help out. The Sheffield Guide's now on Patreon, so you can, if you would like, go and donate a little bit of money per month or whatever to us to help us keep on making these videos, so you can see fantastic, amazing stuff that you wouldn't even know about, like this. It's just superb. The link to that is patreon.com/Sheffield Guide. And of course, I want to say a big thank you to Andrew and Tom and everyone at Stoneface Creative for inviting us down and letting us have a look around and have free roam, showing us their sculptures. It's just amazing. Remember, you can come down on open days and for events and things like that and have a look around yourself. And also a big thank you to you for watching and subscribing and liking and sharing and commenting and having your say. It's really good to have you on these videos.
So what did you think of Stoneface's secret sculpture park? Will you be visiting soon? What was your favourite piece that we featured? Have your say in the comments below. Remember to like, share and please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to find out about more upcoming Sheffield Guide videos. If you have any ideas for future Sheffield Guide videos, please comment or send us a message, and please check out our Patreon page if you enjoy our content and would like to help us make more. Thanks for watching.